What do you think of that gobbler? Calm down, doofus. What do you think of him, Corb? What do you think? What do you want? We're gonna eat him?
Did he die, Mommy?
Yeah, he's done.
Don't touch that, that's blood. His eye's still moving.
No, it's not. He's dead.
He's dead. You killed him?
I'm just messing with you. Yeah, I shot him.
Is that blood?
No, that's just his head.
That's what she said. Oh,
There might be some blood there.
The feathers are like strong.
What do you think, Bubs? Corb, you're barking like you're in here. What do you think, Kaylee?
No, the back and girls. This is what they do whenever the females see it. Oh.
They strut. What's he doing with his fan? He's strutting, Corb.
That's my blood. Look at that, girls. Is that blood? Girls,
No,
look
their
at
heads
it.
are just red, white, and blue.
Is that blood? Sissy's, watch. Don't poke his eye.
You guys like turkeys?
Yeah, I like turkeys for eat.
You want me to get another one? I can't do it today.
I like turkeys for eat.
You guys gonna hunt turkeys too?
Hey,
Yeah.
girls, look.
Corb, you gonna hunt turkeys next year?
Oh.
He has raptor claws, huh? Look at his spurs. You see his spurs, Corb?
What?
His spurs on his legs? Look.
What happened to him?
Remember I told you they fight, they kick each other with those.
What happened to him? Is this little too scaly for the snakes to bite? Turkey.
What's the matter, Kaylee?
Let's try it because he loves the turkey.
You love the turkey, Kaylee?
Daddy, why did you kill him? Daddy, does all those scales in there protect the turkeys from snake bites?
Probably.
To like stomp on them with those. It's not your fault, Dad.
What's all my fault?
Look at the feathers. Look at the girls. Look wherever he's alive.
Well, guys, it's about 20 after 6 right now. And I went into where I heard those birds on Friday, I believe it was. And it was super clear and cold this morning. I was walking up the trail before I wanted to cut down over to the bench, and a bird blew out. And it was like I couldn't see clearly, but it flew like right over my head, and I didn't see any beard dangling on it as it flew. But yeah, it is cold. I think it was like 29 or 30 when I went out. But I heard a couple distant gobbles and nothing on the hillside I was on. So I just jet over to this hillside. I thought I heard two, but they're more on top. I mean, you can see this is pretty, they clear cut this and it's pretty wide open over here. So I didn't think I'd really expect to hear much over here, but I live right down over the hill, so I figured, heck, it's on the way out whenever I need to go home anyway. So I just kind of got out to, clear the mind. Heard a few gobbles, nothing close to where I was, but this is just great to be out. I mean, I like when it's cold like this because there's no mosquitoes and everything else attacking you. I did gain permission to hunt where all those birds were going off the other day, but I just didn't feel like hunting over there this morning, and I didn't hear them from where I was sitting this morning. But good morning to be out. I saw a couple grouse, which is always a good thing, and a few deer. I did see one turkey, but unfortunately it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I kind of spooked it. But no, I mean, it's a good day to be out. Good luck if you have the whole day off. I'll be off on Friday. It's supposed to rain, but we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping to go to a game lands where I saw quite a few birds in rifle season, but archery season last year in the fall. But with that one there, it kind of sucks because you got to bike in. I mean, I can walk, but I'm not walking that far. I'm gonna bike in. They have it gated, and hopefully, with that much that you had to put in to get to them, there aren't going to be too many other guys. Now, I didn't hear anybody this morning on quads or anything like that, so it was nice. But I'm heading down over the hill now. Get those kids ready and get my butt to work so I can make my Monday morning 8 o'clock meeting, which is always awesome during turkey season. But yep, beautiful day to be out, and hope everybody had a good day. Later. Boy, that hunt was a rush, boys. I have to get out of here so I can go home and get the kids ready and go to work, but I went to the old standby, and yeah, I walked in, it was dark, sat down, got light. Well, it was getting light. I look in front of me, big blob in a tree, and he's about 20 yards away, and no, I'm not crying, it's just I'm trying to run with this wind. But he was about 20 yards away, and just turned, and you can just see a freaking huge beard on him. There's actually 2 birds there, and a bunch of hens, but I mean, I'm not one that's gonna blast him right off the freaking tree. I mean, what the heck kind of hunt was that? If I would have did that, but he would have definitely been my biggest long beard. Probably 10, 11 inch beard, and I could see the outlines of his spurs from where he was. But I always end up screwing myself over with that spot because I end up sitting on the ridge because I'm too afraid they're gonna bust me when I walk around to go to the bottom, and they always fly down and always go down into the bottom. I don't know why I try to sit on that freaking ridge. I did have a awesome interaction with a hen. She was livid, just came up, you know, squawk, squawk, squawk. She was about 3 feet away from me, but both gobblers were in that bottom and they weren't moving. So at least I know where they're at, and you know what their little game plan is there. And I think Friday I was gonna go over the game lands, but I think if I set up down in there, and because I don't think I'd be able to hunt tomorrow. I got to take the kids and drop them off. But I think if I could set up in between both of those gobblers in that bottom, and just I have another access route where I won't be into the ridge. You know, they look like they won't be able to see me. So I'm hoping to get down in there. But I mean, he was just a freaking hammer of a bird. I mean, I mean, the light came on and I looked and I'm like, geez, oh man. And like, he's just, you know, spitting on the tree, and it was dark and I kept hearing that, and I'm like, that's a freaking spitting drum. And I don't know, he was 25 yards away. I could have wrecked his day, but you know, who the hell's gonna shoot a turkey out of a tree? You know? But yeah, great morning to be out, day 2 in Pennsylvania. You can tell I'm still wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, so it's early in the season. I want to continue making my way out, and hope everybody has a good day. I mean, you can't beat that catch and release turkey hunting, I guess, huh? But without even having to shoot. Well, keep after them, boys. Have a good day. Today's day 4, and tried to go back after that bird that I was on yesterday. And don't worry, I'm not on like some highway. I'm on like literally like off-road in my car. But tried to get on that bird that I was on yesterday, and right where you pretty much have to be like extra sneaky, there's like 5 or 6 deer there, and they just blew out, and turkeys blew everywhere. And of course, you know, you can't control that kind of stuff, but I just hung around in there because I figured where the turkeys flew out, it wasn't where that bird was roosted. And I just sat there and you know, did a couple like lighter calls, and nothing ever gobbled. And you know, started to get closer and closer to when I needed a jet. And well, I went ahead and you know, tried to make a dog leg to get it around there because I just had this feeling he was still roosted in the tree. And when I started to walk out, I looked over where he should have been, and yeah, he was still roosted there. I mean, he never moved. He never made a gobble. I mean, he knew. You know what I mean? After those deer blew everywhere, he knew something was around. I mean, it was probably 6:15, and you know, he never made a peep and never moved an inch. So I snuck out, and here I am, you know, going home. But you know, that's what I love about turkey hunting. Some days it's, you know, an awesome hunt, birds gobbling all over the place, and days like today, you walk in and deer just blow everywhere, you know, and turkeys fly out of the roost, and you're like, oh my god, are you serious? Like, but oh well, I think that bird, I think I'm gonna give that bird a break right there. He you know, I hunted him 2 days in a row. I'm gonna switch to a different bird. Sometimes I end up getting fixated on one bird, and then I kind of screw myself over. So we're going to bounce to a few different other areas and stuff. And Jesus, there's a person has a Jake and a freaking hen decoy right in the middle of the road right there. Like, they're literally like 5 feet off the road. Wow. But what are you gonna do? I mean, that's what's hilarious about public land. I mean, I'm getting out of here, dude. I'm sorry. You know, don't set up 2 feet off the freaking road with your Jake decoy right in front of you. I don't know. But that's the way. That's what I'm dealing with up here, and that's what I said about that. You know, private land bird. It was so easy because I don't have people like that guy. You know, 2 inches off the road, and literally his car was like 2 feet away from that. But oh well, I'm not gonna judge. What are you gonna do? But I need to jet home. Looking at this other area, I was gonna stop and listen, but it's totally logged out as well. So we're gonna be moving on to different areas for the rest of the week here, I think, and give these birds a rest. Good luck to anybody else that's out there, and have fun this turkey season. Not a lot to say about today, boys. Let me open up my door here. I got my lab going nuts. Come here, Lou. Here's the puppy. But yeah, nothing much to say today. Didn't hear anything, didn't see anything. It was warm this morning, 67. It almost seems like on that first, you know, warm morning of the season, I never hear anything. I did go to a different area that I haven't, you know, even been to yet this year. Just nothing doing. I mean, I didn't even see any sign really, and I don't want to say I crossed that one off my list, but it just one of the mornings that they didn't gobble. Tomorrow morning I'm off. I'm trying to decide where I'm gonna go. I'll be able to hunt till 12, and then I think I'm gonna go down to the hospital and visit my brother for a little bit. So yeah, nothing exciting to report today. Starting to feel a little tired. Last night I was up till about 12:30 fixing my lawnmower, so hopefully grass can get cut today, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we will we'll keep you posted. Just one of those mornings. Well guys, I'm having a great day, to say the least. First, I forgot my sling for my gun, and when you're hunting these big woods like this, you need, you know, have that. I went back, left, looked on my seat, my face mask wasn't there. Had to go back again for that. I got, when there was myself and 2 other cars going up the road towards this game lands. All 3 of us pulled in the parking lot at the same time. First 2 dudes got out and loaded their guns and took off for the thing on foot. other dude had a bike and he was like speed racer and took off, and then I got on my bike and started pedaling, and after about a mile and a half the left pedal broke off, so I had to push it up this hill, and then I kind of coasted back down. So I got to where I wanted to be at in the parking lot, and I left the box of Magnum blends that I had back in the car. And I reached around in my pocket and I have a one Winchester Longbeard 5-shot and one Magnum blend, but I think it got goofy and the wax or whatever at the end came undone, so you could shake it and it sounds like a salt shaker. So we're having an awesome morning here in Pennsylvania on the game lands. I heard a few birds early and I thought they were out here, and actually if you look behind me, that mountain over my shoulder is where I started, and then I basically walked the whole way around the mountain, came back, and ended up in here in this Game Commission food plots. But I mean, it's beautiful country. We got mountains all around us, you know, food plot. The wind picked up a little bit, and I just think they're with hens. I mean, that's the same story that it's been everywhere that I've been so far this year. So I actually came over here to give my, I don't know, target bird, if you want to call it that, a break, and I want to let him get down and be done with his hens when I go back in there around 9 o'clock. So I didn't hear anything on these food plots. I thought for sure I would have, you know, there would have been even a hen out here feeding, but I sat at that one little apple tree back there for about, I don't know, a half hour or so, and I didn't see anything come out into these fields. So I got a long freaking walk back to my bike, and then a long limp until I can actually get on it and coast downhill again, since my pedal decided to break off. But yeah, so that's my first biking experience on the game land, and I think I should probably do a better check before just throwing some air in the tires and saying let's go. But oh well, I still got quite a few hours left to hunt, and I think the better part of the day is coming up. It did decide to rain for a little while, but yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't complain about everything, and I didn't have anybody cut in on me, and hopefully I'm not cutting in on anybody else. I didn't hear any calling the whole time I was sitting there either, so we're going to head back to the bike, limp back to the car, and go to spot number 2. So I'll keep you posted, and good luck if you're out there today. I'm gonna go ahead and tap out 40 minutes early today. Lots of miles put on today. 6.6 is what the phone said, but I went down in to where that bird was gonna be, or where I thought he'd be, and he'd leave his hens. And walking down in, 2 birds were just going nuts on their own. I mean, absolutely crazy. And there's a small little strut zone there that I figured that they were going to. And I hurry up and jet, and I just sat down there. I figured they'd come in there, and you know, it'd be easy to call them in. And I got set up down there, and they were still gobbling, I don't know, 80 to 100 yards out, and they just shut up. I don't believe that they saw me, or that they could have saw me, but you know, they might have. But no, over the game lands, freaking, it was just crazy. I mean, there were 3 people that pulled in, myself included, all at the same time, and everybody was running to get out. And one of the people did shoot. I didn't hear any follow-up shots, so I'm assuming they got something. But there was a small field, maybe a half mile in, and I figured since they didn't have a bike or anything like that, that's where they were gonna go. And as I rode past it on the bike, that was before the pedal broke, I was gonna go down in, but I was like, you know what, those dudes are probably gonna hunt there, so I let them have it, and I went to another spot where I saw birds in the fall, but I didn't hear anything like over there. and I was on that mountain, and basically the birds on the whole other mountain were gobbling on the roost. But I just wanted to stay where I was at for a while, and I just waited it out for about an hour, and I walked the whole way. There's a turkey vulture. He was eating a porcupine. There he is again. But that's pretty insane. But no, I walked the whole way around to the other mountain, and there's some food plots and stuff out there. I figured that's where they were, and that's where I assumed the other dude on the bike was going. And I didn't hear any shots over that way or anything, so I just walked over and I slowly worked towards those food plots, just listened and see if I could hear him calling, because I don't want to go in where someone else is hunting. But then again, I just assumed, you know, he could have roosted a bird a mile away, and that's where he was going. So I just hunted those food plots for a little bit, you know, a couple light calls here and there, and nothing doing. Then I went over to my the ground I've been hunting. It's like a big, huge tract of public land. It's private property, but you're allowed to hunt it, so I just call it public land. And like I said, I got in on the birds, and they shut up, so I made a big dog leg around where they were, and then set up on another strut zone that I don't think they were going that way, but I thought maybe they saw me or something, so they might have ran off. And I thought I heard drumming behind me, but I couldn't tell for sure, and I waited and waited and waited, and nothing ever showed. So then I'm a little tired, but so then I just put on about an extra mile and a half, walking some other areas, looking for sign, and, you know, running, gunning, but nothing doing. And I mean, I can't complain. It was a good day, lots of exercise. I probably lost about 3 or 4 pounds, I imagine. But I'm gonna go home and let the dog out, relax a little bit, and I think I might go fish for an hour, and then go down and visit my brother. I guess he woke up from his coma and, you know, freaked out a little bit and tried to pull out his tubes and stuff, and they put him back under, and then he opened his eyes a few times yesterday. So another positive note on that is his oxygen level is at 96%, and they only have him on 40% oxygen. So when he first went in, it was like 88% on 100% oxygen. So there's a few pluses there. He's still not out of the water, but things are looking a lot better than they did. So I appreciate the thoughts and prayers on that, and good luck. We'll see how I feel. I may see if I can hunt some private ground tomorrow, because I know the public ground I hunt will probably be a zoo. So I'll keep you guys posted, and good luck if you're still out there. This morning's hunt was a good one. Didn't kill a bird, but got some good intel. Walking down into the spot that I wanted to hunt, the fire whistle blew off, and it pretty much gave me, you have to excuse me, I'm trucking, but it gave me like serious intel on where they're roosting, where they're at, all that. And I got down in and set up between 2 strutting areas, and I figured they'd either go to one or the other. And after the fire whistle went off, you know, they were kind of quieting down, and then the fire trucks or whatever were going, and they started gobbling at the sirens. So it gave me a little bit better idea, and I thought I heard one fly down, so I gave him a little bit of calling, and eventually figured out there was 4 birds, and they were going absolutely insane. I mean, I must have heard 150 gobbles, 200, just constant but soon realized that they were making their way towards me, but also towards the other strutting area. And once I heard them, their gobbles sound like they went down over, I knew I had to move. So I just jetted probably about 80 yards or so above where they were gobbling on that other strutting area. Now that area is pretty big, really open, but I mean, they were still hammering, but then, you know, I heard quite a few hens down with them, and I just turned around and walked out. I mean, I knew that I had to get out of here, and I knew there was no way I was going to pull any of them off of a group of hens, so I figured before I just educate them, I'm just going to roll. But yeah, definitely great hunt. I mean, it was 46 when I left, so nice and chilly, no bugs, goblin birds all over the place. So it was a good hunt. I think now that I know what way they moved down this time, I may actually set up on the other strutting area back in the woods a little bit and put a decoy out, because when they were coming my way, it sounded like they were on that bottom, but they did not want to come up. And I wasn't on that ridge again or anything. I was just down close, but they didn't want to come up out of that strutting area to come see me. So I'm gonna go maybe tomorrow and hunt right in that strutting area and put a hen out there, so when they fly down, you know, bang, she's right there. So alrighty, I have to jet out of here. It's Monday morning, 8 o'clock meetings suck, especially during turkey season. So good luck if you're out off today. Feel a little better today. Got to sleep in yesterday a little bit, so recharge the batteries. Good luck if you're out there. This morning's hunting wasn't too bad. I went down to where those birds came off the hill to that big clearing yesterday, and I didn't hear them at all. So there's another area down below, even further down the mountain, where it's like a big abandoned field, I guess you'd call it, and it's on a hillside with a small road at the bottom. And years past, birds have roosted like in this little island, and they fly down to that big hill, and then you can't, you almost, like, if you're not set up there, you can't get on them, because they hang out right at the top of that little peak there, and they just watch and they wait for hens to come up to them. So that's like the Mission Impossible spot. In years past, I had people suggest that I put a blind up on that field, but I don't know. I kind of like to be on the ground with them, but yeah, we might go to there. But I went down on the opposite side of that island, and there was a bird that gobbled, so I went down in that general area and I sat down and I was just listening, and ended up where I sat down was about 80 yards away from him, and he gobbled a few times at crows and stuff, and I was just waiting, you know, for it to get a little bit later before I made a couple calls, and made a few soft yelps, and he answered, and they just kind of shut up, and then he hit the ground. I heard him fly out of the tree, and you know, I worked a little bit on him, and he just never gobbled once his feet hit the ground. So I waited and waited and waited, and I didn't hear him. So, and I just kept thinking, like, I'm up where it's too thick, and he went where it's a little bit more clear. So I got out my box call and gave him a few cuts on that, and then 3 birds gobbled on that island, and I was like, man, you know, I hate when they're out there and I'm not set up on them, you know, and I can't roost them in the evening, so it really makes it tough on these before work hunts. But so I just jet around to like the backside corner of that field, and I just wanted to get it. There's like that bamboo or elephant ears, whatever the heck you want to call them, and I kind of was working to crouch down in there just to get a better feel for where they were at. And I kept looking out into that field. And right when I went to set down, freaking periscope comes up on the point, and that's all she wrote on that one. They took off down over the hill, and like they weren't really hauling butt out of there, but you know, they kind of jetted down over, and I gave a few calls, and I looked, the one was stopped on the road at the very bottom about 100 yards away, so I just sat there, and he walked off, and then I heard a gunshot down below. I don't know if, yeah, maybe one of those birds took off for running and somebody was down there and they whacked him or what, but hope he did. So yeah, I mean, that's another day getting on birds and hearing them. But I don't know if it's just tough. Like I said, I can't roost them in the evenings because my wife's at the gym in the evenings. And I go to the gym right after work. You know, we're trying to lose some weight. There's a cottontail. But no, I mean, what are you gonna do? That's the way it is. But good exercise, good hearing birds, good working with them. There he goes. Why can't they do that in the fall? Look at that stupid thing. You like Gobbler's Anonymous, Bunny? Unbelievable. He's still just sitting there eating his clover. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna switch birds tomorrow. Those ones there, pretty unpredictable on where they're roosting, so I'm going to be, I think I might wait till I have a little bit more time to hunt those ones, maybe on Saturday. But oh well, we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted. There goes another cottontail. Jeez, they're all rutted up too. But alright, I gotta get moving here, get the kids ready and go to work. So if you're out there, have a good day, good luck, keep on them. I'm be on them every second I have. So take care. Today's hunting was pretty awesome. I went to the area that I initially planned right off the bat, and I kind of walked down into this bottom and just listened, and there's like nothing going on over there, and I heard a bird way back behind me, like up over big field through the woods. I mean, to grandmother's house we go on this one, and I was like, well, there's nothing going on over here, so I'm gonna try to beat feet up over the mountain and, you know, get a little closer, figure out what that bird's up to. And I ended up getting on him, and I'd say when I first struck him again, I was probably about 250 yards away or more. And this is a very like chopped out area, almost clear cut, and there's all these little tiny trails that snake through the whole thing, and it really makes it tough to turkey hunt because there's so many different areas that are open that, you know, you think they'd come, and brush piles in between and stuff. But I just figured you know, that bird's gobbling, I might as well go after him. So I get over and I get set up, and first time I sat down, I, you know, called and he answered once, and then waited a little bit, and then I called again and he answered, but he was more towards my left, so I knew he was working out to this one area. So I jetted over there, but where he was at, he was on the backside of like a little rise, and I hate when they're like that because it seems like no matter what I do, I can never get them to come up over, and then if I move to try to get out, you know, in front of them, they're gonna nail you. You know what I mean? It just, at least that's how it seems for me. So I kind of just sat down and It's like, well, it's either he's gonna come in over top of this little rise or not, but I'm stuck. You know, I can move away from him, but I can't, you know, loop him any way. You know, he would nail me. So I just sat there and, you know, gave him some excited cuts and stuff, and then he really started going nuts and just gobbling and gobbling and gobbling and gobbling and gobbling. But he just, you could tell he was walking back and forth right on the backside of that rise, and there was a couple brush piles there, but I don't really think that was the issue with him not coming in. And so I figured I'll just shut up. You know, I got him excited. Maybe I'll just make him come search for me. And he gobbled one more time, and then, you know, I just gave him some more, like, less excited calling. And, you know, just a couple clucks and, you know, some soft yelps. And then another gobbler that I didn't even know was there hammers like 70 yards to my right. I'm like, oh man, you know, now what the heck am I gonna do? So I just kind of sat there and, you know, scratched in the leaves and that sort of thing. But I just figured that I'd be better off just shutting up and not even, you know, messing with him, because I looked at my phone and I only had about 10 minutes. So I just kind of kept quiet, and then after that other bird gobbled, the one that I was working that was hot, he just clammed up totally. So I don't know if that was the boss Tom that came in and was like, you know, get away from here or what, but as soon as that other bird gobbled, he was like Dunsky. You know, he wasn't going to talk again. So just a good morning, exciting. I mean, that's the closest I came since I killed mine first day. But, you know, you just got to keep on them and, you know, bounce around a little bit. And like I said, if I could get out and roost these things, I wouldn't have to play, you know, run around Sioux, you know, trying to strike one and then get to it and then only have, you know, half an hour to work them. But my wife is off on Friday because they have prom, and they give the kids the whole day off, I guess, now, because many people would skip or whatever. But I'm actually going to have more time to hunt that day. So, I mean, I'll have an extra half hour or more to hunt because I don't have to get 3 kids ready to go to school. And, like, today I got to take the twins to where they got to go. So, looking forward to Friday. I think it might rain tomorrow, but I'll be out. You know what I mean? I'm just looking at my eyes and this thing here. They're getting a little tired looking. But, no, I'm gonna keep after it, and hope everybody else is having, you know, a good season. I didn't kill another one yet, but I'm not complaining. You know what I mean? That's just more days I can get out and hear them and, you know, try to work one in. So we'll keep after them, and good luck if you're still out there. Well, today's hunt was just freaking awesome. I mean, yet again, didn't kill him. But I went to the area where those birds were yesterday and came close. And I set up on the one, and he gobbled a couple times, but his buddy was just hammering about 100 and some yards away. So I was like, well, this bird's hotter. Let's go try to kill him. So I skirted that one, walked down this one logging road, sat down and started to work him. And you know, he was gobbling. He probably came to about 80 or 90 yards and then just kind of cut off, like to the right or something, or left. And I just adjusted my setup and got on another, you know, back cover tree that are hard to find. You can hear the thunder. It was just freaking epic. I mean, I'd be, you know, I tried to slow work him, and it was like he's in a strutting area or something. And then a Jake went off with him, gobbled. I'm like, all right, you know. So I gave a little bit more excitement, and he just started going bananas. And then I didn't realize how close I was to the strip road. And this big freaking coal truck comes up the road, and like literally must have spooked the bird or something, because he gobbled it like 60 yards all of a sudden. I'm like, oh man, yeah, that's a blessing. And I was working them, and he just, with these freaking clear cuts and stuff, it just suck because they have all these little obstacles and they get hung up on them, or you can't see where they're at. And I looked at my phone and it was like, I gotta get out of here, I gotta go to work. So I was like, I'm gonna try fighting purrs, and I had my mouth call in, and I started doing fighting purrs and like smack my hand off my leg and just like try to simulate a fight. I've never heard a turkey go more insane in my life. I mean, he was just da 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 da, like just going. And like he was probably, I'd say about 50. I just could not see him through the thicket. And then I gave a couple, gave it a couple minutes, and he was still gobbling. And I was like, well, I'm gonna give him a couple cuts. Gave him a couple cuts, and he gobbled. I'm like, I just cannot get this thing to freaking come in. He didn't see what he heard or whatever. And then it started thundering like this, and I'm like, oh my god, this will be epic if I killed this thing. And I started doing the fighting purrs again, and he was gobbling, and then I looked and I could see a red and white and blue head at about 35, but I could not see its beard. And the gobbler that I was on was gobbling, so I assumed it was that Jake. And I was like, I'm not doing that again. I had that happen before where, you see a long beard and, it goes behind something, and you see the red, white, and blue head come out and you shoot, and it's a freaking Jake. So I just stopped, and I was watching that bird. I'm like, just turn, let me see if you have a long beard or what, because it was, thick where the bird's body was. And it never turned, and I looked at my phone, it was getting late, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna, just shut up for a little bit. And I thought I heard a hen down below, but I don't know. But he started to walk off, so I was like, that's my chance to get the hell out of here and hope for him another day. But that was pretty epic, with like the thunder and the lightning and birds just hammering. It was definitely one that I'll remember. I took tomorrow off, and I'm gonna be hunting with my cousin on some private property. Hoping for the best on that one, but I think I see a gobbler way up on that power line. Looks like he's strutting up. Oh well, I gotta go to work. But yeah, we're gonna hope for the best out there. I'm back at the Jeep now, but yeah, I mean, if that doesn't pan out, I mean, I'm on the birds on this section of public, so I have 7 or 8 that I've been messing around with, going to different areas, and it just they're not easy, and the clear cut is just something brutal to try to call turkeys through. But I'm just gonna keep on them, hoping you guys have a good season. Mine's pretty epic right now. I haven't killed since the first day, but it doesn't really bug me. I mean, I get to come out again then. But alrighty, I gotta get to work, and yeah, that sounds pretty nasty. But we'll catch you guys later. This morning's hunt didn't go the way I thought it would. I hit up an area where I haven't been in about a week or so, and thought I had the birds down a little bit better than what I did. And there's a place I like to sit and listen if I don't get to roost and figure out where they're at. And I was just getting ready to go down below, and one gobbled probably, I don't know, 90 yards away. So I had it in my head that I should have went to a spot where they all walked through the one day I was there. And when I heard that bird gobble, I did the dumb thing and, set up, up from him a little bit and just sat down and listened. And when I should have went down to where it's almost like a convergence where a few gobblers met up and then, did their thing. And I sat there when he first gobbled. I'm like, I need to get down to that spot. And then, it's almost like these before the work hunt, it makes you do things that you wouldn't normally do because you don't think you have enough time or whatever. And I sat up on that bird and just pulled in my driveway here. And I sat up on that bird and I thought for sure that, he was fired up. I'd be able to call him, right in and be a quick hunt. And the whole time that I heard him gobble, I was like, I need to get down in that bottom. I should be down in there. So it was weird. He made and I don't think it was a hen, but he made like a real deep purr sound. And then I didn't hear him fly down, but it almost seemed like that's what he did. Like he did that sound and then, a couple clucks or something and then hit the ground. And now I know he didn't see me or, hear me because I didn't even make a noise yet. And it's like, well, he's on the ground. I'm going to give it a couple seconds and I'll call. And when I called, he was walking right down to that spot where I knew I should have been. And there was another bird that gobbled, 100 yards away, and he was on that same path. So I was like, well, they're going to hit that spot and they're going to go out to that Mission Impossible field that I was telling you guys about. Like, you can't kill them if they're roosted down there. But I was like, if I could get in between that field and the birds where they're at right now, I'd bet the farm, they're going to go down, they're going to go up in that field, and then, they feel safe there. So I just backed off and I basically trucked, as quick as I could down to that bottom and sat up like at the edge of this huge clearing and where the birds I thought were coming from. So I sat down and I just listened, and you can't see them where they would be at. And a couple crows started fighting, and here they went the complete opposite way up away from me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I turned around and jetted back up on the tram road all the way up the mountain out to where my vehicle was parked because they were heading that way. And I called a couple times at the top just to see if I could locate where they were down below because I still had about 10-15 minutes to work with, and I couldn't strike them again. So I got in my car and drove all the way out and around and walked up to the edge of that big clearing, and I saw exactly where they went. And it was like, why the heck did they do that? And then it makes you wonder. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, if guys have been hunting in the woods there, they're not going to stay in the woods. I don't know. Maybe I give the birds more credit than what they should get, but it almost seemed like they flew out into this huge, huge opening and felt safe there because, no one's going to set up in that huge, wide open area. I mean, I'm talking like ridiculously huge area. And they basically went and did a huge dogleg, almost like what we would do if we were going to hunt them. And they doglegged around to where they wanted to go. Because I watched them and they went right up into this little back corner field, strip mine deal. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I'd have been better off, walking 80 yards from where I parked my Jeep and sitting there. But, like, who's going to sit there without being able to study the birds and be like, oh, well, they're going to do this, So, I mean, it's just one of them things where are they smart or are they they don't even know what the hell they're doing, Like, it almost seemed like that's something like a whitetail would do, Like, he would know that the people are going to be in here So he's going to go out of his way. You know, he'd keep the wind at his nose, but, you know, thank God turkeys can't smell. But or into his nose. But those birds basically flew down, went the whole way out and around where anybody would set up to kill them to get to where they wanted to go. So, I don't know, like, and the worst thing is, I know it would happen if I set up on that area tomorrow, they're going to go down to that other field. So it's like, huh. And I actually stayed away from those birds for a week because they were driving me nuts. You know, it's like they're here, they're there, they do this, they do this, they do, like, they don't have a pattern. But oh well, I'm here at the house. I got to get in there and get the kids ready and stuff. But they're still gobbling. I mean, I've been blessed that I've been at least been on gobbling birds and got to work quite a few of them. Today's birds were like, just had their game plan down. So, I mean, I heard them gobble, but it's not like I was working them, you know. And it's like that old saying goes, and I laugh. It's like, you can call a turkey any way that he wants to go, and that's how it was today, you know. You can make him gobble, but it doesn't do you any good if he's walking away from you. So, it's another fun day. Hi, Lil. Here's the puppy. She wanted to say hi. All right. Got to get back to work, and good luck if you're out there. I tried my first evening hunt here, and on my way in I had a few birds that were just gobbling on their own, and I assumed they were gonna make their way back up to where I wanted to set up. So I kind of sat up halfway in between where I had them roosting and where I just heard them, and I didn't hear another gobble all night. Kind of reminded me of like an early archery hunt, to be honest, because I didn't want to be real aggressive calling. You know, I probably overcall in the morning anyway, but you know, just a couple purrs and clucks, and I didn't hear any other birds at all. Now the ones that were gobbling, there were probably 3 of them, so I imagine it was the same 3. But I don't know if they walked the other way to roost tonight, or if they just kind of hung out down in that bottom. But I don't think they got behind me, and there was no gobbling as it got darker, you know. But I don't know. Definitely wasn't as exciting as the morning, but I'd say it's more relaxing. You know, you're not, you know, adrenaline gung-ho. You're kind of just sitting and observing and calling every once in a while. But I got a rough walk out of here. I went down to the lower area where I thought they might have went just to listen, and it's almost dark now, and you know, they just weren't talking tonight. But yeah, what are you gonna do? I'm still new to the evening thing, and I won't get a whole lot of them. But it just so happened that Corbin's T-ball game got canceled, so it gave me the opportunity to have my wife go to the gym early, and I got out there at about 7-ish, about 7:15, and those birds were gobbling. But they were definitely on the ground. I didn't want to set up right there and try to work them, and I just kind of stuck to my gut of where they were going to roost and went up that way. I don't know if that was the best plan. Maybe I should have just stayed down where they were. I don't know. But you know, a totally different style of hunting. I don't really see me getting that into evening hunting, but if I have the chance to get out, I'm going to get out. So, gotta be versatile, I guess. These hills kicking my butt today. But oh well, we'll be back at them bright and early tomorrow morning, and hopefully fill in the tag. So Good luck if you're going out tomorrow. Well, everyone, we are tagged out in PA. Those birds that I heard last night were over in this patch of woods, and I came down that trail, hit up halfway in between those woods, and I didn't hear anything for a while, and I was gonna move, but I was like, I know they're gonna be in here. And this is what I call that Mission Impossible field, because if you look, wide open. So there were some birds that I heard on this top, and I came down, see that little patch of Japanese knotweed down there, and I was calling to these birds up here, hoping they'd come down over, and the bird I killed flew right over my head. Sorry. And he landed right here, and he went into full strut, and I saw a full fan. I'm like, oh man. And when he flew over my head, I could see his beard dangling, so I was like, whatever, you know, I'll take him how I can get him. And he landed up on this flat. I couldn't see him. I gave him like 2 or 3 cuts. He came right here and poked his head up. Whammo. Freaking Magnum blends. Now, this dude actually, he's got some decent looking spurs on him. I mean, they're about a, I think, get him on the camera here. I don't know. They look to be about at least an inch. Definitely my biggest bird. Beard, pretty good beard on him too. I mean, I will take it. After as hard as I've been hunting and every morning, now I can sleep and my fly customers will be happy. But yeah, this is awesome because I really wanted to kill a turkey here, because it's like the hardest freaking spot to hunt. I mean, it is ridiculous, because unless you're right where they land, they're gonna bust you, or they're not gonna come down over this hill or whatever. So I got lucky today. I heard this bird when I walked back down, and I was like, well, he's gonna come out to this field too. I bet any money he's gonna come out here. So I just sat up down at that bottom and I said, hey, it's a long shot, but literally that bird freaking did the Blue Angels flyby right over my head, landed right where I'm standing, took a couple steps, and I blasted him. And then when I shot, another bird, I swore he fell, and another bird took off down that way. And I was like, you know, shit, did I miss? You know, how the hell did I miss? It was only like 35, 40 yards, and I mean, I had my scope right on his head. So I came up running as fast as I could, and he was just laying here. Flopped him. So I got to get boogieing. I'll try to get a couple better pictures when I'm at the house. But yeah, tagged out in PA. I mean, I am so happy, and this bird is definitely my nicest longbeard. Longest spurs, I'd say. They're over the nub stage, I think. Borderline limb hanger, I guess. So I got to get him out of here. Got to get him butchered. Got to go to work. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Obviously, this is my last video, and it's going to be a good one. Definitely a good bird, though. Wow. And oh my gosh, I don't even know how to say it. I mean, I hunted literally every single day of the season, every morning, up at 4:30, and I killed him in Mission Impossible field. So nothing better than that. I'm gonna sign off and let you guys go, run up to the truck so I can get him butchered and get the kids ready and take them where they gotta go. My whole life. But thanks for tuning in. Put a tag on this bad boy, and we're done. Well guys, I'm sitting down here in this spot where I killed my bird last Wednesday, and I heard this gobble, and I was on this bird before, but probably about a quarter mile up the ridge. He has like a weird vibration on the back end of his gobble. I hope he comes down this way, just so I could see what he was. I wasn't sure if it was like a jake. It just sounds weird. I'm hoping he gobbles again, and I can get it on video, because it sounds like a gobble, but at the end it's like brrr, and never heard anything. I never heard a gobble like that before, so I'm hoping he comes down this way just so I can... That's a different bird there. But I'm hoping that one comes down this way. I think they're gonna fly down into this field again, and I might get to see what they are. But last time, they never gobbled until they were in the field. So we're just gonna hang out here and enjoy the spring atmosphere and the sounds. But I really hope that one comes down here and starts gobbling, because he just sounds weird. I don't know if he has something matter with his throat or what. Jesus Christ. Talk about close.